The properties out here, depending on where you're getting the property, of course, but the majority of them, if you're in the 1-2, which is typically the zip code that a lot of my clients like, and it ends up doing you a disservice. I'll give you one example. There's a property in my neighborhood that I've been seeing on the market, and they put it on the market. If your budget allows, at least you have to be in the 450s to be open to doing some remodeling, and that will give you some views in some of the properties here in the Westside at least. If you're thinking of relocating to El Paso, the Westside is definitely a location you and your family want to consider. Hi, I'm Alexa. I'm a real estate advisor here in El Paso, and I'm also an investor. And I always like to throw that out because I believe that when you're buying a property, it's not just what looks nice, it's also what are your returns going to look like 5-10 years down the road in the event that you decide to relocate. The Westside is one of those places that a lot of people don't understand why the price per square foot is a little bit pricier than in other areas, and this is what this video is going to highlight. Right now, I'm going to be checking out a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, over 2,000 square feet, listed for $499,500, and it's been on the market for some time, so I think there's a little negotiation there that if I was your agent, I would definitely love to do. But one of the things that I want to highlight as I make this tour for our client is that the properties out here, depending on where you're getting the property, of course, but the majority of them, if you're in the 1-2, which is typically the zip code that a lot of my clients like because it's still easy access for you to get back to the east side in case you work by the airport or in case you're like military and you want to go to base. But West Side gives you a lot of mature development. And when I say mature development, what I want you to picture is trees. What I want you to picture is trails that you can go and walk. You have the Franklin Mountains. You're going to have a lot of scenic routes that you can take to really just enjoy the view. And that's something that, if I'm being honest with you, you don't necessarily get in the east side. I love the east side. I have properties in the east side. I talk a lot about Horizon. A lot of people don't think that Horizon is considered the east side, and if we're getting into a debate, technically they're right because the east side would be a little further up. But when we're talking about west and east, let's just highlight it as the east side. In the east side, you're going to have different little pockets, and let's say you decide to invest in like Horizon as one of them. Horizon has so much new development, and it's great. It really is. But because there's so much new development, there is a property that is going to be a little bit harder to sell versus if you have a property out in the west side, because there's less of that, particular square footage or amenities that you might be looking for. It's going to drive up the price. And I've seen it. I'm actually in the market right now as we speak. I'm looking for another property and I want something in the west side. I've been comparing everything and nothing quite fits the boxes that I want. And what I'm looking for right now is, okay, I need to get it to a point where the price is going to be okay to initially invest in, but I'm still going to have to put a little more money into it to get it to where I would want it, because my house that I currently have is a 5-bedroom. It's a brand new home and it has all the bells and whistles, right? It has the nice luxurious spa like tub. It has 2 shower heads. Like, it has everything that I personally would like, and I'm just giving you one example, of course, because I want you to keep this in mind. There's another property that is really nice, but it doesn't quite have the bells and whistles, and that property is for $460. So when you get that into perspective, it really just makes you understand that in the west side, your values are going to hold a little bit stronger. And if you are maybe somebody that's like, I don't care about that, I'm not going to sell it anytime soon, then let's invest for something in Horizon. Let's invest in something in the east side where you really can get a lot for your money. But if you're telling me, you know what, I might end up relocating and I really want my prices to like go through the roof, then we might want to consider some other options. Second thing I want to highlight before I show you guys this property, and I've seen it happen because I feel like a lot of agents, they are too afraid to tell their client that the price that they're sticking on the house is too expensive, and it ends up doing you a disservice. I'll give you one example. There's a property in my neighborhood that I've been seeing on the market, and they put it on the market. It's been maybe about 300 days at this point. It has not gotten any offers. It's overpriced. Like, in the west side, that house over here, for sure, like, that would be a rare gem because it's for $430. But because it's in that area, there's so many options to choose from, and it's 4 bedrooms. So for $430, I'm going to be going on the market pretty soon and listing a house that's 5 bedrooms, hence this house. I was actually going to put it as a rental, but I just decided that I want to pull out some of my equity and invest it in another property as it's going to be my primary. primary. So what I was looking at, I was like, my house has more square footage, it looks better, and it has an extra bedroom, and it has a loft. So when you consider all of these things, why would I pay for 20 for this property when I go on the market, I want it to be competitive, I'm going to list it for 390. These are the little things that I am playing around with. I know that if I hold on to that property 1,000% for another 5 years, that house is going to be in the 500s. But again, this is really where you need to decide what strategy are you going to play, because realistically, if I were to leave that house and price it for, let's say right now, for even 400, 410, technically yes, I'm lower than that other house. But if we compare how many days it's been on the market is what really determines how much you should sell a house for. So this is really something that you want to keep in mind, whether you're a seller and you're looking to sell one of your properties, or whether you're a buyer looking to actually buy a property. You want to really know, how is the market doing? You want to know what kind of leverage do you have. And one of the things that I just noticed, I recently got my beautiful house that I love. I'm going to insert a clip here, 1218 Prospect. This is in a historic neighborhood. When we originally went on the market, we listed it for 520, but we know that that was like at the top of our market. I told my clients, you know what, let's try it. You know, I want to get you guys as much as I possibly can, but I already knew from the beginning that that was going to be a tough one because of the fact that the market is a little competitive right now for my sellers. Like for my buyers, it's like open season, right? But what ended up happening is that we lowered it to what was like our bottom line. We had already said, and I even told them, rent it out. Honestly, if we can sell it at this, I would recommend you hold on to it for another year, and then let's talk about selling again. I'm telling you, I'm not going to push you to do something that's not in your best interest just to get a commission check. There's a lot of agents out there like that. That's not my game. So I told them, let's just hold on to it for a little bit longer if it comes down to it. Thankfully, we were able to get it under contract, and the investor that is, I'm representing as well, they were able to make an offer full asking price, which was at 450. This was a Hail Mary, because honestly, what ends up happening, and this is why I tell you guys, you really want to just look at the market. You want to know when you're selling your property and how is the market out there, and you want to be competitive. When we bought that house from my previous clients, because I also helped the previous sellers, I've already held on to that property 3 times. I'm like so excited. I hope that the next time that my investor decides to sell it, I'm also the one that helps him, because that would be 4 times. So the first time it was my client and his mom, and then my second time it was my client that actually purchased the house that I'm helping them sell now, and then now selling it again. So why I'm sharing this with you, the values have tremendously increased. When they bought it, they were in the 300s. Right now, if you gauge, we're in the 500s technically on the appraised value, but they're willing to take an under little haircut right there because of the fact that they know that the market is a little competitive right now. This is why I tell you guys, really do your homework. Make sure that you understand what are you getting yourself into. Make sure you understand what are you investing in, because at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, you don't want to put yourself in a predicament, and you don't want to be in that area where you bought something brand new and then 2 years go by, you want to sell it and you just can't. So with that being said, I'm done yapping. I'm going to go show you guys this beautiful property, and then after we're done here, we're going to head to the Northeast because there's another property that we're comparing, and that will give you a nice example of the price per square foot. That other house is about $450, and this one, like I said, is for $499. But the location on that one, it's in a very exclusive neighborhood that I personally really love in the Northeast. A lot of people don't like the Northeast, perspective biases there, but that little pocket is so beautiful. I actually made another video. If you haven't seen it, I'll link it down below, where I was showing that there's like deers that run by there. Like, it's super outdoor friendly if you're into that kind of stuff. I love going hiking. You have like trails behind. It's beautiful. But the reason I bring that up is because there is just so much that now you can compare. This house doesn't have views. That other house has views. And I'm going to tell you this because I wish somebody would have told me this. Actually, I did have somebody tell me this, my investor client that actually taught me this a few years back. But he said, Alexa, if you can find a house that has views, buy that house, because they will be willing to pay you a premium for that when you make it turnkey. And it is so true, because a lot of the times now that I'm looking at houses, since it's going to be a house for me, I want it to have views. And that's why it's been a little competitive to find what I want, because I want to stay under a certain price point and then I still want views. So it's like, give me everything, but keep it under this. So anyways, when he said that to me, I didn't really, understand it at that point. But now that I've been looking at more and more options, I understand. And that's so true. I see a house and I'm like, yeah, it's nice, it's beautiful, but it doesn't have views. So that other house that we're going to go see, it has views. This house right here, it's beautiful, it's stunning, exclusive neighborhood, and it doesn't have views. And maybe for you, you're like, I don't care about that. It has views from the backyard. It has stunning views, which I'll show you in a second. But from the inside, it doesn't have views, which is something that might be a downside for you. And if your budget allows, at least you have to be in the 450s to be open to doing some remodeling, and that will give you some views in some of the properties here in the west side at least. But that is something that you definitely want to consider. So anyways, let's get to it. All right, guys. So the first house we're going to be touring is in the west side of El Paso. This is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath for $499,500. And this is why I want to make these videos, to really help you in deciding what is the best area for you and your family to invest in. Now, the west side is something that a lot of people really like because of the fact that you're next to the Franklin Mountains. You have some highly rated schools, which if you stick around to the end, I'm going to be sharing with you a hidden gem in another area of El Paso that doesn't get talked about as much, but I promise you school ratings are amazing. But I'll get to that in a second. Now with this property, as you can see, it needs some love, right? It needs some renovating. Now, I'm not saying it's not move-in ready, because there's a lot of people that do like the style in which this one was decorated. Maybe you're one of the people that's going to say, I wouldn't do this to my bathroom. And hey, you're in your right? But there is a lot of people that still would appreciate what this house has to offer. And in this particular home, listed at $499,500, like I mentioned, it's located at the Coronado Subdivision. And again, this is where people really end up paying a little bit more per square foot, and they're okay doing some renovating. Now, as we continue doing more tours, I am more than happy to show you guys turnkey homes. And that's something that I've been requested to do for our clients that are actually purchasing homes in El Paso. I'm more than happy to do that. So if you want, send me a message and I'd love to help. But this is really what I want you guys to emphasize. The house is essentially in an established neighborhood where all you really need to do is some light renovating and you get to move into the house, right? You get to be near shopping centers, restaurants, hiking trails, access to the freeway. All of these things are very desirable. Now, as you can see here, they did a little bit of renovating in the kitchen, which I really love. I love that green. I don't know about you guys. The appliances are all brand new. And these are the things that you want to factor in. This particular home has 2 living room areas. As you can see, the one over on the left side that had the first fireplace, and then now this one. So you really can, if you wanted to, make this a 5-bedroom over by where that other fireplace was, close it off, put some French doors, and there you have it. Now you have a 5-bedroom home. These are the little things that I like to look for in a house. Does it have potential? Now, the next property I'm going to show you is going to be in another very desirable area of the Sierra Vista subdivision. This one is located at 214 Hermosa. This is located in West El Paso as well. 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, around 2,800 square feet. The lot size on this house is 13,000. Yes, you heard that right. And this is something that I want you guys to really start focusing on, because for this house, your taxes are roughly going to be at about 6,135. Comparing to the other neighborhood that we were in, your taxes are roughly going to be in the 12,000. And this is for the year, of course. But this is really where a lot of my clients are like, why in the world would I pay more for taxes when I can be 10 minutes into the west side and end up getting, you know, a little bit more land, as you can see, and still pay less in taxes? And yeah, I would say you're right, my friend. You should consider that. Now, La Sierra Vista is near the country club area, and this neighborhood is highly desirable for people that just feel like they want a little more privacy, right? More spacious land, established neighborhoods. And when I say established neighborhoods, I do mean it. You're going to have those huge trees, as you can see, that you're just not going to find in some of the other subdivisions. 1, because some of the subdivisions are new, but 2, because this area also has agriculture style zoning. So this actually gives you a little more flexibility, some breathing room there. Maybe you want some chickens, who knows? Now, this next area is Kern area, okay? And Kern area is something that a lot of people don't really understand the benefits of it. So I'm going to highlight them next. This particular property is located at 931 Mesita Drive, and this is roughly about 1,900 square feet, 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, roughly about 10,000 feet of square footage on the lot. And your taxes here are going to play a factor as well when it comes to what you're really getting for your money. Now here, your taxes are roughly going to be in the 10,000s. And this is really where I want you to emphasize the long-term return on your investment. Kern is one of those charming parts of the city, and it's known for its historic character, mature trees as well, and unique architecture. This is really where you're going to get walkable streets. The neighborhood really has been around for generations and is really considered one of El Paso's classical areas. Another huge reason people love this area is the school access. You're really going to be in highly rated schools, whether you're taking your kids to a private school such as Loreto Academy, Cathedral, and several others, honestly. There's a few here. But the location is really something central, which allows you to go, again, whether you're going east and working, west, it really is a prime location. You're right next to UTIP.
Those are houses up there, by the way.
And then you still
another very exclusive neighborhood. I actually made a video of that property right there that you see. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out.
That area up there that I was pointing at is a private subdivision. I've made a video of that before, so if you want to check that out, I'll link it down below. But this is really where, again, when you start comparing things, you want to ask yourself, like, what is my strategy here, right? Maybe for some of you, these bedrooms, you're going to say, well, I would prefer the other area because the bedrooms were a little bit bigger. But some of the people that live in these areas, they are professionals. They are people that sometimes don't have kids, or if they have a kid, they maybe have one. But if you're somebody that has maybe more kids, you're expecting to have a bigger family, maybe this area might not work for you, or you are going to need to up your price point. As I mentioned before, this house right now is listed for a little under $500,000. So if you factor that in, if we compare the other house that had a bigger lot, that might be something that you're willing to say, you know what, I want to be a little bit more in the outskirts, and I'm okay with that. Now, you are going to have some of the unique parks that you also have access to. There's a doggy park, which I'm showing right now in this section, but you also have a lot of areas that you could simply walk to. And that's really what makes these areas so desirable. People tend to know each other in these communities. And I will just say that right now, if you're coming from somewhere like New York and you're not used to talking to people because you're like, why in the world are you making chit chat with me? Just be warned, if you go to the park, somebody is going to end up talking to you, because that's just how us Texans sometimes are. And I know, you know, sometimes maybe that's not what you're into. So if that's the case, just have your little fushi face and they won't talk to you. But overall, as you can see, these neighborhoods are really full of charm, and that is something you need to decide with your family. Do I want to be in an area that has a lot of character, or am I looking for something new, right? Because I have clients on both sides of the spectrum. Some clients are like, no, Alexa, I do not want anything that is going to require some work. I just want something turnkey. And if that's the case, maybe these houses might not be for you. Or again, if we up your price point, then for sure, I know we can get you something turnkey. But just to give you an idea of what turnkey cost in this area, I'm talking about minimum $600,000. So when you factor that in and you compare it to the other house that we looked at, the Hermosillo property, then maybe you're sitting here and looking at this and saying, you know what? No, I don't need to be in that charming neighborhood. I can go and drive on the weekend and look at it all day long. Which I would tell you, Barry and Terry, you are absolutely right. So again, every single part in El Paso is going to offer something different. Now here, I'm showing you guys my favorite route, which is Scenic Drive. I've talked about Scenic Drive in the past, and I really just want to emphasize that that is another selling point for a lot of people that buy in Kern. They're so close to the Scenic Drive route that it really becomes one of the focal points. A lot of people love taking this little route, driving up to the Scenic Drive area to overlook the city lights, watch the sunset. And as you can see, some of these neighborhoods are extremely exclusive. I've actually sold a few properties in these gated neighborhoods off market listings because they just want to be very, again, hush hush about their property. They don't want people really coming and seeing it, that they're not really qualified. But overall, these neighborhoods are extremely desirable. So when you're thinking about it from a perspective of, I want to set roots in El Paso and I want to have a house that I can call home, then maybe you want to factor these things in, because again, these price points might be a little bit higher than what you would get in maybe an area like Horizon or an area like the new Eastside development. But again, you're getting that unique charm that you're just not going to get in those areas. As much as I love Horizon, as much as I love the Eastside, these neighborhoods just have a certain characteristic that I feel is just unique, right? It's just unique to what you're really getting here in El Paso. Now, as we proceed, I am now taking you to that final stop that I was talking to you about, and I am telling you, you're in for a treat. This last spot is something that I recently came across, and the reason I recently came across it is because typically it's not talked about. Amongst a lot of realtors here, they don't really give this area the exposure that it deserves. And quite frankly, I think the locals actually like it that way because they don't want a bunch of people trying to buy houses there, and then at the end of the day, it drives up the taxes. The area that I'm about to show you is in the northeast of El Paso, but it's in a very unique subdivision. This is going to be High Point Subdivision. And I made another video for you guys showing you that you have like deers out there, a bunch of like natural live quails that are just walking around. It is so beautiful. And this house, oh my God, I fell in love. I'm gonna be honest with you. I really fell in love with it. It has 4 bedrooms plus a bonus room. Look at those beautiful mature trees. I mean, come on, can we just give them a second? Now, as you can see, it looks a little small, right? From the front, you'd be like, oh, okay, it's a cute little house. I see it, Alexa. No, you're wrong. Look at these majestic ceilings. Like, look at the views overlooking the entire city. This is Brazilian countertops. This entire property has been renovated in such a beautiful way, and it's listed for $460,000. Yeah, I said that, $460,000. So if we compare the other house that we saw for $500,000 and you do your own, assessment, I think it's safe to say that the views on this property just simply don't compare, right? You're literally overlooking the entire El Paso area. You have these beautiful tall ceilings, upgraded landscaping, upgraded backyard, which you'll see in just a second. The bathroom has been completely renovated. And this is something that, again, personally, I believe is one of El Paso's best kept secrets. High Point, Northeast El Paso, a lot of people automatically assume that the Westside is the only one with the best school districts. And as a parent, okay, I've done a lot of research. I can tell you that that's simply not true. There's so many highly rated schools in the Northeast. And of course, I will say this, you can also find some great schools in the East Side and Central area. It really depends on what you're looking for. One thing that families love about this area is the private faith-based school options that are nearby, including Christian and Catholic schools. If you're into that, these areas are really going to give you a lot for your money. And this is really what makes High Point special. Not just, again, the fact that you have these amazing views, but you do have a lot of great schools to also choose from. Now, I'm telling you, my personal favorite as well on this list is the fact that you can just go outside and you're literally looking at these desert landscapes. You're going to see deers. You're going to see all these beautifully taken care of homes that just have a unique character to them. This house is a custom home, so you're not going to find another home exactly like this in El Paso. And as you can see, it has a pool. And I just really love houses like this that they don't really show their justice from the beginning, like when you see the actual elevation of the house, but then you keep looking and you're like, wow, like you're really a masterpiece. So with that being said, these are the things that I want you to consider when you're thinking about moving to El Paso. And if you are relocating, upgrading, or just starting your home search and you need help figuring out which area actually fits your lifestyle, that's exactly what my team and I are here to help you with. You can follow me on Instagram. You can send us a message. All the links are down below. book a consultation, and we'll walk you through your goals, your budget, your ideas, everything to make sure that you and your family really make the best decision. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching this entire video, and I look forward to seeing you guys soon.
Okay, so that concludes our tours for today. As you can see, El Paso really is a lot more than a boring place. It is really submerged in history. It has a ton of culture. And if you're looking for something specific, there's something here in El Paso for you. The house that we just finished touring is in a beautiful area. It is listed for under $460,000. I'll list all of the details down below. But if you and your family are considering relocating into El Paso and you don't know where to start, set up a call with us. My team and I would love the opportunity to guide you. And even if you decide that we're not a right fit for each other, my goal is to serve you with as much information as I possibly can for you to make an educated decision. So with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in today, and I will see you on the next one.